Am I live? I think I might be. Finally, let me get this on my phone here where I can see chat. Oh, there I am, locking the camera. There, now I can see the chat. Hello! Nobody's here yet, as per usual whenever I start a stream, there's somebody here. So, hello, YouTube algorithms. How's it hanging? Doing something a little different tonight. I'm going to be using pastel pencils and maybe even some regular soft pastels if I need to on this pastel paper, which is different than the paper I use for colored pencils. The colored pencil paper is a smoother finish. This has a little bit of a tooth to it, which allows the pastels, which are like a chalk, to stick to it better. So this is different than I usually do. I mean, I've done a few pastel pencil drawings, but I just thought I'd do something different tonight. Just not feeling the colored pencil candle and flame tonight. I don't know. It's been a rough couple of weeks, or a week and a half. I mean, it started out with my teeth going crazy and my face swelling up, and then, and like I explained, I have health issues that cause that to happen. So there's really nothing I can do about it. I'm just stuck with my teeth going bad. So that was going on, and then they gave me Tylenol 3, and I laid in my bed having hallucinatory nightmares for 2 days, and I was like, never again. I will never take that stuff ever again. Never, ever again. So no Tylenol 3 for me, but I mean, it helped with the tooth pain. I was definitely too busy worrying about the nightmares to worry about the tooth pain. If that's how it's supposed to work, I don't think so. And then on Thursday night, last Thursday, I was mopping in my bathroom and I slipped and fell and caught myself with my leg so I wouldn't completely hit the ground. But I jacked up the muscles of my leg and I came and sat back down. I was mad, whatever. And then about 2 hours later, I went back in the bathroom to use the restroom and I stepped on the bathroom rug and it slid out from under me. And that time I hurt myself pretty bad. Like, haven't been able to walk since bad. Like the past 24 hours, I've been able to walk with a cane around my apartment a little bit, but I have to come back and sit down frequently. So I really messed myself up. They don't call me Spillis for nothing. But anyway, so that's been going on. And then I was supposed to have had a show where I sold my art, and a whole bunch of drama went down. I kind of want to talk about that. Like, I'm not going to out anybody or give anybody's personal business or any details or anything, but I kind of have some experience with one of the people involved that makes me kind of have a little insight into it, and it's sad. It's sad, and it's scary, and it's wrong, and so anyways, yeah, that's what's going on. So let's get to work on this. Now this is, with colored pencils, you can really go light to dark, dark to light, depending on what you're doing. I mean, you're not going to be able to get real light over real dark with the colored pencils, but you can work from dark to light to a certain degree. I usually do sort of midtones first, and then add shadows and highlights on top of that with colored pencil. That's pretty more of my style. Yeah, but with the pastel pencils, I'm pretty sure it's light to dark. Straight up, just go light to dark. I mean, I think you can put light over dark a little bit, but being a chalk, I can't see how that would really work. I mean, I'm sure you can lighten up what you're working on, but so I have this down in the corner, this flower. I'm pretty sure it's a version of a passion flower, but I thought it was cool. The leaves are kind of curled on the petals, are kind of curled on themselves. Let me make it a little bigger for a second here. See, they're kind of curled around each other, around themselves rather. And I thought that looked really neat, so I'm going to leave that down here. I'm actually going to pull it up on my computer, of course, as I do, so I can see it up close and personal. I have a selection of pastel pencils already picked out here. They are by the brand Stabilo. They're the Carbothello. I got the set of 60. I like them all right. There's some colors that I wish were there that weren't there, but it may be a matter of their pastels. I can't do those colors. But they're surprisingly vibrant for chalk pastel pencils. They're pretty nice. I would like to try pit pastels, and I also want to try, as far as regular like stick style pastels, like I have these minis right here, these Faber-Castell minis. And as far as these stick style ones go, like this, I want to get some of the Prismacolor new pastels. They look really pretty. They look like they'd be really pretty. I have to grab my water. Aw. I just got a message from my friend Bill. Bill's a sweetheart. He's one of my favorite people. He's accompanied me to see music with our friend Carolyn a few times. He's a very sweet gentleman. He helped me move when I was living with a very, very sad person, and I had to move out. He helped me move. And the funny thing is that she thought I was going to have people come over to bully her or something. I don't know. She got some guy to come over and look intimidating. And like Bill shows up with his truck. He's like this sweet, older gentleman, mild-mannered. And she looked really foolish because nobody was threatening her. She's just into drama. So yeah, that happened. And so that was Bill messaging me, of course, on Facebook. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is put down a light. I don't really have a light pink in here. Wait a minute. Well, I'm going to go with white first. So I can't use these in the pencil sharpener. They break off in there and clog it up. I don't want my nice pencil sharpener ruined. So I have to use a knife, and I have this block of sandpaper strips that I can sharpen it with. So I have my my X-Acto knife here as well. So I'm going to try to sharpen this up a little bit here. So yeah, that whole show like fell apart that I was supposed to sell my art. That whole show fell completely apart. And it was due to some drama, actually, which is I thought maybe COVID's respiking, or I mean, none of these people are under 40, I don't think. So no, it was drama. But I'm not gonna, like I said, out anybody or anything. It was just drama. But I have some experience with one of the people involved in the drama, and it's my experience. I can do with it what I will, and I do want to say something about this. It's back in 2007, I was living with this guy, and I wasn't happy, and I ended up moving out. But before I moved out, there was this show, and this guy that I'd known for many years started really coming on to me, and I was flattered AF. I was really flattered, because I'd always kind of thought this guy was cool, and he was kind of hot, and I was getting out of a truly bizarre relationship. It was bad. And to have somebody talk to me like they, they liked me. I was, vulnerable. That's not an excuse. This is also before I got on medication. So I have to admit that back before I got on meds, I did not make good decisions in general. I made very bad decisions about things, usually very important things. Because I was coming from a place of mental instability, and you can't really make good choices when you're emotionally unstable. You know, I mean, it just increases the chances that you're going to make some kind of bad decision at some point when you're like that. And so this guy kept coming on to me, and I ended up moving away from that boyfriend. And this guy was married, and I ended up finally saying yes. I mean, I was digging the attention. You know, I really was. I'd been in a relationship where I was considered very much less than, very much something to be disdained. And to be, so flirted with was flattering, and it felt really good. And so I made a bad decision, and he and I started sleeping together on a fairly regular basis. Usually in his car on the way home from a rock show. It was not smart. It was not a nice thing to do, because his wife was a very lovely woman, very sweet, very undeserving of being treated like crap, as happens. She did, not deserve that. And yeah, I felt guilty the whole time, and I kept wanting to tell him that it was over with, but I was also really thriving on that attention. So this went on for 2 years until 2009, when something very dramatic happened. Like I said, I'm not going to go into details. Something very dramatic happened that ended it. And that was that. And then fast forward a couple of years, and I'm with Brad, and I noticed that this person is with this very beautiful, talented, charismatic woman. And I honestly thought to myself, well, good. That's wonderful, that's a good match, that's probably, it's fine. It's going to be fine. Well, come to find out that it wasn't fine, and he cheated on her as well. Because the man's fucking broken. He's fucking broken. He needs help. Like long term, like really do it, really get help. He needs serious counseling. He needs help. He has apparently just pretty much banged or tried to bang every female in town, pretty much, and they all have stories about him. And, oh, shoot. Well, that was lovely. Yeah, so, hey, it's the alarm. The alarm went off. Was I about to say somebody's name? Probably. So, yeah, so, anyways, that drama caused, anyway, so yeah, so there was cheating, and that drama affected the show, which caused the show to cancel. it was a mess. That was definitely a mess. And like I was saying, this person needs help. I'm not like, he needs to be held accountable too, but like, he needs to know how bad this was, how terrible. He's got to understand he's got a problem. I don't really feel sorry for him. I feel bad for her. She's quite lovely, inside and out. Certainly not deserving of that level of deep disrespect. And I hope that she's able to get past all this okay, because it's got to be traumatic. I just remember, looking at their Facebook feeds and seeing, what appeared to be really happy people. And they were like, the cool kids. They were like, to me, in my mind, I'm like, that's a good match. That's, that's cool. Unfortunately, that was not the reality. That was just me imagining things. So, yeah, so the show was canceled. So I didn't get to sell my art. So I still had this ginormous stack of art. So if anybody wants to buy art, going cheap. Yeah. So now all I'm doing is waiting for my hips to heal. My hip to heal. So I can walk again. Like, I can get to the bathroom, I can get into the kitchen, I can get over to the living room. Like, I can get around my apartment. But there's no way I could go striding out my door. I'm having to use a cane, and the pain is intense. It's like a nerve pain. So it doesn't go away. It's just always there. The muscles feel like they're getting healed, like they don't feel as stretched out and bruised anymore. But whatever the nerve thing is, and I have a feeling it's actually, it's hurting in my hip, but it's actually my lower back, is what I suspect. That I jerked my back, trying to catch myself from completely falling down as my leg was sliding out from under me. Now I don't know what to do. Like, the floor is dangerous with the bathroom rugs, but it's also dangerous without the bathroom rugs. Okay, last night I couldn't stand anymore. I've been having to take, like sponge baths sitting in a chair. So, and I can't stand long enough to shower, and it's kind of slippery in there. So I was like, okay, I can do the motions to get in. It's a big garden bathtub. It's a big tub. So I can get onto the edge of the tub, then get into the water, and then to get out, I sat in there and let all the water drain out. And then I got my towel and completely toweled off and toweled my feet until they were completely dry. Made sure there wasn't a drop of water on that bathroom floor before I got out. Which made my drying off time not very pleasant, because I'm sitting there in the water as it's receding and I'm cold and I want to dry off, but I don't want to get my towel wet accidentally. And it was more than it needed to be. But I had a bath and it was lovely. And that made it feel good. My bathtub is just deep enough to where I can kind of float a little in it, and it took pressure off that hip, so that felt nice. So yeah, this has been just like a very strange, all around fucked up kind of week. Don't know what's going on, but obviously none of the things that have happened have any correlation to each other. I'm just having a bad week. Doesn't mean anybody else is, Start down here. Whoops. Oh, they squeak. Nice. So I'm just kind of mapping in some kind of lighter areas just to give my eye a place to look. To know that's where highlights and lighter areas are. Just kind of mapping them out a little bit. Yeah. So it's so different working with these pastel pencils than working with my regular colored pencil. You know, like I said, these are like a chalk, whereas those are, you know, more waxy. Colored pencils are more waxy. So these are interesting to use and interesting to blend. So I'm just going to, let's see. So these down here. What's under here? Is it the paper? Wait, there was something on it. They don't hold a point for very long. That's kind of a bummer. And they are very lightweight. They're not very substantial feeling. They're kind of a subtler medium, you know. Pastels. My thing about it is I like what you can do with pastels, soft pastels, but I don't like getting that stuff all over my hands and all over the desk. And even these pencils will, as I start filling in more colors, make a powdery mess, and it'll end up all over my desk, and I'll have to wipe my desk down after I do this drawing. Um, so, you know, they're very different to use. Okay, where are these highlighty ones? There's highlights on both sides. A lot of them do. So it's that way, and it's that way. It's that way around. When I did my traced my sketch of the flower, which is off, like rotated, weird. But when I did my sketch of the flower, inaccurate, I then took a piece of tracing paper and taped it down and then traced it onto the tracing paper and then used graphite on the back of the tracing paper to create graphite paper, and then I used that to put the image on here, and I pushed a little too hard with the pen I was using to get the graphite into this paper where I could see it, and I ended up making some grooves. So there's some places that I'm going to not like on this flower already. I can see that I've got some problems. And the fact that they don't want to hold any kind of a point at all. That's kind of annoying. But I do like the end results with the pastel pencils, I'll admit it. I really do. Let's see. Some of these shapes are a little odd. That one's pretty dark right there. All right, so we've got some light areas. This is not going to be any faster because I'm talking. I just can't get into the habit of speaking and doing the art at the same time. It's just not what I do. When it's just me here, I'm not holding any kind of conversation with myself. I mean, I think I talk to myself as much as anybody else these days, but I'm not, you know, I'm not sitting here running my mouth while I'm drawing. Usually I'm listening to a YouTube video, kind of half watching. I'm just going to make these highlighty areas a little bit more substantial here. Start to make bolder marks, as I was being a little timid at first. So I gotta start making some bolder strokes here. I kind of like that squeak, I'll admit. I'm going to have to sharpen this, so here's the not fun part. I just do it on my floor and sweep it later. Oh, sweeping is going to be hard. That also means getting up and I'll just try to sweep. So I just will use this X-Acto knife here and remove some of this wood casing gently, so I don't shave off the pastel itself. I'm just trying to get this wood shaved up a bit. I have a really, really good pencil sharpener. It's just not really, really good for pastel pencils. It's good for colored pencils and graphite. But these have unique properties. Okay. Put the lid back on it so I don't saw my finger off or something. Live on stream. Oh, there it is. So now I will sharpen it up a little bit like I did a minute ago. Okay. Now to take a look at my stream and make sure I'm still actually streaming. Okay, everything works. Oh, and I'm not using any green, so I might not I'm just doing a study of the flower. I'm not messing with the background on this. That's why I chose this weird sort of dark, warm gray paper to put it on. Because I'm choosing no background. There. That's for John Pipers. I am choosing not to have a background. Just making it like a study. So I hope y'all had a better past week and a half than I did. Regardless of who you are, or where you are, what you're doing. Not that there's anybody watching right now, because I don't think there is. There might be. My live streaming app says 0 viewers, but my YouTube says 3. Oh, here we go. Oh. There, now I do have people watching. Okay. Oh, awesome. You're late, but you're here. You are here. We're all here. Do you know what flower type this is? John Piper says. I like it. I like it too. I do believe it's a passion flower, a type of passion flower. That's my guess. Just because of the way it's shaped, and the background in the photograph is blurry, so you can't really exactly see, but it kind of looks. Oh, there's a little fly thing. It kind of looks like the way passion flower vine leaves look in the background. So I'm thinking it might be a variety of passion flower. It's really cool. I don't know if those petals completely ever unroll. They look like tongues, like I don't know if they'll ever. Oh yeah, I think that if I had to venture a guess, I would say that that's a type of passion flower. I didn't see any examples of that flower with its petals unrolled, so I think that's just how those petals look, is they're rolled up like that. So that's why I kind of think it's a passion flower. That and the hint of if you kind of look in the background, that You know, they look like those could be viney things, and yeah, but I thought it was really unique looking and pretty, and so I will say that, you know, hearing about the drama that's been going on. Oh, there was other drama too. A crazy person who needs to get a grip on himself beat up a very sweet person over something completely insane, as happens, and that's caused some problems amongst the group of friends I know, the group of people I know. It's been crazy. Like I said, I don't know what's going on, and I don't believe in supernatural things or astrology or any of that stuff. I don't really believe in any of that crap, but like there's something in the air. Is COVID making people crazy? Did the vaccines make our brains swell? What's going on? What's happening? It just seems like an inordinate amount of just like really shitty bad things has been going on. The Nina Turner losing yesterday was heartbreaking, and it just shows you the power of the corruption of our political system. If they would get money out of politics, and money in politics, Nina Turner would have won. We wouldn't have had this problem. Chantel Brown was the most worthless candidate, and she's going to end up going to, you know, getting indicted for her corruption anyways, and probably lose that seat anyways, and it's all going to be just a, I mark my words, there's still a clusterfuck coming with that situation and that lady. That lady has no character. Yeah, Nina Turner, I hope this doesn't make her give up. She needs to keep fighting and keep running for offices, because I want her to be my president someday. I want her to run for president. Again? Oh, it's a Amber Alert, I bet, or a Silver Alert. I don't know which is worse. Oh, nose. See it there? Now I'm going to have to do this all over again. That's a piece of chalk wasted. Completely wasted. I wasn't even pushing that hard, although I do have an extremely heavy hand, which is why I'm able to do my colored pencil drawings the way I do. As I have a very, very strong, heavy hands. I actually had bought some really cute press-on nails to wear when I do my live stream, because my hands look so awful. And I totally forgot to put them on. And I know they're going to drive me crazy trying to do art with these things sticking off the ends of my fingers. Plus I'm a nail biter, and so they'll make me insane. I'll have to take them off right after the stream, I imagine. If I ever remember to put them on. Maybe I'll remember to put them on when I make it like a scripted video. So now I'm back to removing wood, making my little white pencil here much shorter. That sucks. That's the problem with traditional art supplies. Traditional art is that you are constantly running out of things. You're always having to replace stuff. Always. Paper, pencils, paint, whatever it is, you're constantly going through it. I mean, there's no way not to. I mean, unless you're making like tiny little paintings or something, you know. I think even oil painters, you know, that's got to be an expensive art form, just like the colored pencils, you know. You get what you pay for, so I imagine it gets really expensive to do oil painting. I've been trying. I keep sitting down and, okay, trying to paint, and I can't channel that feeling I get when I'm using pencils into my hands when I'm using paint. Does that make any sense? So yeah, art supplies constantly having to be replaced is a struggle. Oh, I did get, let me grab them here. I got my Precious in the mail today, or from Amazon. My Precious. It's the heavyweight mixed media paper, the 500 series, made of 100% cotton. It is a thick, heavy, heavy paper. And it's my favorite to do colored pencils with. This one has a vellum finish, a vellum surface. So it's smooth, but there's a tiny little bit, just the ever so slight bit of texture to have the pigments stay in the grain. But this makes all the difference. Like, I could get out all my cheapest colored pencils and do something on this paper, and it wouldn't look half bad. I almost think that the paper is more important in some respects than the pencils. Oh, and then I've always watched videos of artists, and it seems like they're always trying out, doing art with Crayola colored pencils. So I have the crazy art ones. The crazy art ones are like the cheapest of the cheap of the name brands. They're mostly wax, hard wax, and not very much pigment. And then there's these Crayola ones, which I just took one or two out and kind of played with it a little bit. They're a little better than the crazy art, but not much. But it'd be interesting during one of these streams to see if I can make a decent looking piece of colored pencil art with a pack of the Crayola colored pencils. Because I have used my crazy art colored pencils in some of my nicer colored pencil drawings. It just depends on what you're doing. One thing that it does work with is odorless mineral spirits, because it breaks down the wax. But like I said, there's not a lot of pigment in there. So you're left with something very sheer, even if you've gone over and over that area with the colored pencil. So I'm talking and talking, I'm not getting this done. See, I had intended to sit here and work through this flower thinking it would be fast, and I just can't do it. I'm not fast. Oh, my website. I got it up and running for real. I have a domain name. It's all one word, phyllismastersart .net. phyllismastersart.net, yes. And I posted a link to it on Facebook. It's a for real website with a for real little website store. Yeah, it's for real. I'm a domain. So that's cool. I have a website. It took me a lot of jerking around with it and way more money than I thought it was going to. Like, I had a $100 budget and it cost $70 to get it up and running. Even though they're like, look, half price offer for your website, go premium, blah, blah, blah. It's like half price off if you pay for 60 years worth of service, So it ended up costing a lot more than I thought it might, but it was worth it to get it, and it's mine. It's my domain now. I'll be paying for it. That's cheap. That's like $15 a year or something. It's no big deal. All right, I'm going to pull that picture back up here. Shoot, I have 20 minutes. There's no way. Okay, now I'm thinking I need to see if there is a... No, there's not one in that. There's a lighter pink in my pastel pencil box. This one right here. Any other ones? No, this is a Conte pastel pencil. Made by Conte from France. I like their crayons, Conte crayons. They're a lot of fun to use. They're fun for sketching. They're also a lot thicker and more substantial. Let's see if you can see here. Where's this one hasn't been sharpened yet, so you can see there's quite a difference between their diameter there, and they're about the same length, but they're definitely the Conte is definitely much thicker. So I'm gonna go in with some of this light pink. I don't know. Maybe, I think I enjoy the silence sometimes while I'm working. Having silence seems to bother some people. Like Brad doesn't like it when I have it silent in here. He's trying to do artwork too and stuff, and he would rather I have something on. But sometimes I just like it to be totally quiet, peaceful. And all I hear is the sound of the pencil rubbing on the paper. That is a nice sound, and for somebody who spent many years mentally ill, making bad decisions, the calmness of it all is very appealing. It's a very zen thing for me to do, you know. Given that I have a very hard time meditating, it has to do with that not really having a mind's eye thing, not really being able to visualize things. It makes meditating harder. So when I try to meditate, I basically have to just count my breaths to try and bring myself, you know, down. Because I can't visualize, you know, guided visualizations, you know, you're a pebble at the bottom of a lake and the water's cool. And I mean, I like listening to people say those words, but I don't picture those words in my head. I still think that's weird that people do that. Squeak. Yeah, there's no way these can go in that pencil sharpener either. Same thing would happen. I wasn't thinking about it the very first time, and I tried to put one of these in my fancy pencil sharpener and promptly got a big chunk of pastel stuck in there, and had to get like a little wire and get up in there and get the pastel pencil out of the blades, and that was not cool. Those blades are super sharp. And I, as you may know by now, am a huge clumsy klezmer person. Yeah. I don't trust me with sharp things. I'm not that guy. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what I was doing here. Okay, these are too close together. Okay, so it's kind of like that. Right. I just picked these to do today because I thought it would be fast, and like I've mentioned that already, you know, and I could go through this and get a complete drawing done on one of my streams, but it is not looking like that's going to happen. But I was planning next week on getting back to the flame, because I really do want to work on that. I just thought this. I don't know. So much for I used to make bad decisions. Now I don't. I just thought I would get through it a lot faster than I have. Sometimes I lose track of time when I'm doing art, and like I said, the colored pencil pieces can take 10 hours to do one, and I'll literally do a whole piece and not realize that I've stayed up all night and well into the next morning, and then I'm like, oh, I did not go to bed last night. That's not going to be good for me at all. Okay. Pink up here. Yeah, I can really get into this, and it's like I lose time completely. It's like I'm suddenly barely aware that I'm existing in the universe. I'm just here as a vessel to make whatever it is that's going to come out being. Oh, but I'm in control of it, though, because like I said, I'm ruthless. If something is not working right, and I don't mean the ugly stage. All art has ugly stages. This is having an ugly stage already. All art has ugly stages while you're working on it. That's just a fact of life. I'm not talking about, but if I'm working on a piece and I just can sense this is not the ugly phase, this is the piece, and I won't throw it away. I'll use the back of the paper later. I'll just put it in my scrap paper pile. And then when I need paper to do some idea on or something, I can just grab it out of the scrap paper pile and use the back. So, but yeah. I was on Discord, and there was a young guy on there talking about how he was not feeling motivated to draw, and he didn't know what to do, and he used to just be able to pick up a pencil and draw, and I'm like, no, that can happen to anybody, but what I suggested that he do. Well, first of all, he's like, my drawing is sucking right now, and I'm filling out, I'm putting these horrible drawings in my sketchbook, and I'm like, well, first of all, a sketchbook is not supposed to be pretty. It's not supposed to be something you publish for everybody to look at. That's yours. That's private. You can have things written down in there. You can have a grocery list written down in there. You can have nothing but stick figures in the whole thing. That's yours. Nobody has any business judging you on your sketchbook. But what I suggested he try, because this is something I thought I would try if I ever run into artist block, but I haven't yet. But if I ever do, is you just set a timer for 3 minutes, grab a sketchbook, grab a pencil or piece of charcoal, whatever, pen, whatever, ballpoint, doesn't matter. Just grab some paper and set a little timer for 3 minutes. And then just sit there for 3 minutes drawing lines. Making lines. Lines, 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 lines. Lines, 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 lines. Thick ones and skinny ones and squiggly ones and hairy ones and just any kind of line you can think of. Just do that for 3 minutes. And then when the timer's up, if you are still just like non-inspired, you've drawn, you've done something. Put it away. Try again tomorrow. But if you're like, that was kind of fun drawing those lines. 3 minutes wasn't enough time. Reset the timer for another 3 minutes and draw circles. And draw big circles and little circles, and circles with thick lines and circles with skinny lines, and some circles that are actually misshapen, or maybe some circles that are as perfect as you can get them. But just draw circles for 3 hours, for 3 minutes. 3 hours. Sounds like a nightmare. 3 minutes. And see how you feel then. Well, maybe you're not coming up with a brand new original drawing in your head right at that moment, but maybe that felt good. So shade one of those circles. You know, connect some of those lines together with new lines and make a shape and shade that. You know, maybe that will start getting you inspired. Maybe the rendering portion where you're doing the shadow and the light, and that's, you know, really, you know, where drawing gets interesting, and maybe that inspires you. So that was what I suggested to him. I've heard that from several different art teachers now, including the one I had back in college, back when I took like one semester of art classes at a junior college. But that was kind of her suggestion. And then art prof, they suggest that kind of thing too. Just, you know, draw some lines. And also the fact, and there's another thing that my art teacher told me that art prof tells us too, is that your sketchbooks are yours. They're not for public consumption if you don't want them to be. That's not what they're there for. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit of a darker pink. This is completely flattened. Oh, what time is it getting to be? 8 minutes. Well, I just completely underestimated this whole fiasco. Well, at least I got to tell my little story, and I think it's basically the dude was like a serial killer, only instead of a knife he had a cock. He was going around slaying the ladies. And you know, I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. That was a point when I thought I was in love with that dude. Looking back on it, it's laughable, but I did. I really did. And when it ended, and it ended really uncomfortably, I was heartbroken. And now I'm just like, I cannot roll my eyes loud enough for that. So... oh heavens, I'm not going to get much more done on this. Well, at least I got to play with some pink colors. That's nice. I don't know. I think I might just go back to the candle flame next week, since I'm much more comfortable with the colored pencils anyways, and just go back to the candle and the flame and do that. So what I might do is just keep working on this tonight, because at least that'll satisfy my urge to do that once, you know. I may just keep working on it. If I get this flower finished tonight, I'll post it in Facebook tomorrow. Oh, I just went right into the pastel. Okay. This is going to all be blended together here in a little bit. So if it's seeming too pink when the reference photo is very purple, it's going to be purple. There's about to be a whole lot of blues and purples in there. This is just the lightest of layers, I think. Well, although this, value-wise, this is a pretty dark pink. But I think it needs to be in there when I do the blending. Which to me, that's the favorite part. My favorite part of the pastel pencils, my favorite part of the experience with them is how fantastically they blend together. That's what I have the Q-tips for, and I also have a Tortillion blending stump. This one looks like I've used. That's a colored pencil. That's not pastel. I don't remember doing that. Oh, I do remember doing that. Okay. Yeah, I can sharpen this by going over the sandpaper with it like this. Remove all that tint and that first layer of paper that comprises the blending stump. That's the other thing, is that doing art is not ever neat, except I guess when I'm doing the colored pencils. But even that's not neat because little flakes of colored pencil get everywhere. Art is not a tidy, neat thing to do. I'm constantly tracking some kind of pigment around on my feet. Michelangelo had the same complaint. I forgot what I was saying then. That you lose track of time, maybe? Oh, that was the black and white version. No, I need the color version. Okay. Oh, 4 minutes to go. Well, 4 minutes. I guess to wrap things up, I'm coming out of a bad week, but I feel pretty good right today. I feel, other than I can't really walk very well, it's not hurting constantly anymore. So only when I try to walk does it hurt. So, oh, constantly needing to replenish supplies. Right? There needs to be an art supply tree. Yeah, that's just a constant thing. It's just a constant thing. You're always, art is not an eco-friendly pursuit. It's just not. You're using materials up constantly. I mean, you do have beautiful art when you're done, but in the process, you're using minerals, you're using sometimes, substances that are quite dangerous. You're using, all kinds of, and you're using them up fast. I can't imagine, like with oil painting, like trying to teach myself how to gouache. I've wasted so much gouache. I'm embarrassed to admit how much gouache I have wasted. Because I can't find the happy medium between too much gouache and not enough water, and too much water and not enough gouache, and I end up going back and forth, and next thing you know, I've used up a freaking tube. Painting is really kicking my butt. It's just not, just doesn't feel natural to me. I guess I'm more of a draftsman, but my colored pencil art doesn't look like drawing so much either, though. I guess I'm just a weirdo and I don't fit in. I don't fit in nowhere. I never have and I never will. I am liking the way these colors are playing with each other here. It's very pleasant. The blue, now when I start going over this with the blue, it's gonna become nice purple. There'll still be pink in it, but I only have, I think, one purple pastel pencil. I'm guessing that's a hard color to make. You'd think this would be. This is so bright and seemingly artificial. I have to watch what I'm doing and remember I'm on camera, because I catch myself when I'm drawing. I'll like have my tongue out like this, and I'm like just drawing away with my tongue out. Like, luckily there's no one in here to see that, but here I am on a live stream doing the exact same thing. All right, everybody, it's the night time. It's time to end this for now. I can't believe that I only got this far. I feel so silly. I'm definitely going to keep working on this. I'll go back to the colored pencil drawing next week. It was just a thing. I just thought I'd try something different. So there. But anyways, I hope you all have a beautiful night. Bye, John. Bye, everybody. Love you guys very much. I hope you have a lovely evening, and it'll take me a few seconds to get this completely shut